Okay, welcome back. And this is just going to be a channel update video. I know channel update videos are not fun or interesting, but uh, I don't know. I try not to do these too often. Once in a while. It's just kind of a chance to talk a little off the cuff about things that I don't get to talk about when I'm playing games. So, just a little heads up about what's going on. I've been really enjoying doing all of the first person shooter games. The first person shooter games that I've been doing, Doom 3, the Halo games. I did Portal, which is not quite a first person shooter. Did the Duke Nukem Forever and the DLC Duke Nukem Forever game, the Doctor Who Clone Me. And I have absolutely loved playing those games. If you've liked watching them or you've even checked them, checked one of them out or whatever and enjoyed it, thank you very much. Those are a lot of fun for me to play and record. I'm very fond of the first person shooters from that era, the early 2000s. To me, that was kind of a golden age of first person shooters. Really enjoyed Halo 1 when it came out. Got very hyped. Right after Halo 1 came out, I started getting extremely hyped for Halo 2, Half Life 2, Doom 3, Duke Nukem Forever. It was such, I want to say around late 2002, maybe even early 2003. It was such an exciting time for fans of first person shooters because we had the promise of all those games coming down, and in my opinion, they all delivered. Halo 2 was a great game in its day. Half Life 2, of course, was a phenomenal success. Doom 3, still one of my favorite games. So going through and doing all these first person shooters that I loved back then has been a lot of fun for me. And the plan is right now, I know some of you are much more fond of the retro games, and we will be doing retro games. I haven't given up on retro games. I still love playing them on original hardware. The NES games I can do on original hardware. I can do on the Kevtris, the HDMI modded NES that I have. It still works. I promise it hasn't broken. It has surprisingly gone up in value quite a bit. Uh, I paid $300 for it for a NES front loader that had Kevin Hortress's, Kevtris chipset uh, reverse engineered and put into it. I remember I paid $300 for it off eBay. A couple of them popped up on eBay, and I bought one of them. Now they're up to like $1,300 or $1,400 because the chipset that was used for those sold out quickly and they're end of life. The chipset that was used was end of life, and thus there are no more chipsets being produced, and there's no more HDMI mod kits. Obviously, you can still do NES games. You can emulate. There's all kinds of ways you can do it. Me personally, call me old fashioned, but it has to be on authentic hardware. I will do the games that are on the minis, the NES Mini, the SNES Mini, and the Sega Genesis Mini. Those I don't mind doing, but aside from that, I'm not going to be. There's a ton of games I would love to do on the Sega Genesis or the Super Nintendo, but until I can find a way to do it in a manner that I like, I'm just not going to be able to do it. Whatever Genesis or Super Nintendo games I do are going to be ones that are limited to the Super Nintendo Mini or the Sega Genesis Mini. Don't have that issue with the Nintendo, but and obviously some stuff like the Nintendo 64 is just from what I understand the Nintendo it's off limits. There are ways, of course, you can emulate or whatever. I don't think there's any plans to do a Nintendo 64 Mini, which is a shame. But from what I understand, the Nintendo 64 is one that is notoriously difficult to do a proper capture of. The 64 has a very strange graphics engine, and if you've ever played, of course, if you've ever played a Nintendo 64 game, uh, a lot of it is polyagonal. It's very difficult for it to be smoothed out. It looks terrible in HD. They're just not visually appealing. Some of that it looks less bad than others, like of course Mario 64, Wave Race 64, um, A Link to the Past looks pretty good. Or excuse me, the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask look pretty good. But the vast, vast majority of Nintendo 64 games just look terrible. So that being said, we will soon eventually get back to doing some more retro games. I'm just having a little bit too much fun doing the Xbox 360 games, and I've had so much fun that somewhere down the line I will probably be doing I'll leave I promised myself I wouldn't do it. I promised myself that the 360 would be the last system that I bought. Although to be fair, my son does have a Nintendo Switch, and I could do some Switch stuff. I doubt it, but I might. But I might actually get a Xbox One, a used Xbox One, and that way I could do some of the newer Doom games, some of the newer Halo games, and those might be kind of fun. Those are the ones that I've missed out on. It would be a totally fresh experience for me. It's not like, I'm playing Doom 3. One of the games I have, a couple of the games I have planned are, I'm finishing Halo 2 right now with the OG graphics. I am finishing, or I'm going to do Doom 3 The Lost Mission and Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil. And when those are done, I might even do a little bit of Resident Evil 5 just to show off a couple of levels. I don't want to play the whole game. I'm actually not very good at it at all. It wouldn't be too much fun. But I might do a couple levels just to show it off and talk about it a little bit because I think it is a outstanding game. And after that, maybe some retro games. I was thinking I still want to do Bible Adventures around the Christmas time. I think that would be fun. There's a ton of NES games I want to get to. I still haven't forgotten about Super Metroid. Super Metroid and maybe off and on some A Link to the Past stuff. I think it would be okay to do that. A lot of games I left unfinished. I think Zelda 2, I never went back and uh, finished that. I never went back and dove any deeper into it. I just knocked out the first 3 or 4 dungeons and left it. So I'm pretty far behind. But that's just the way it goes in life. Still haven't done Mega Man 1, even though I bought it over a year ago. I promise we will do more retro games. We will do plenty more games. So anyway, that's just a heads up about where I'm at, what I'm doing, and what I'm thinking of doing in the future. So if there's anything in specific you want to see, just let me know. And as of right now, it's the immediate future is going to be finishing Halo 2, Doom 3 Lost Mission, Doom 3 Resurrection of Evil, and possibly even Half-Life 2. And then after that, we'll see. Anyway, we'll come back and do something fun next time.